So which social media platforms are we choosing to spend more time on and invest more money towards the end of 2024 and as we get through 2025? At some point in my life, I used to be biased on certain platforms because I used those platforms. Now, because I used those platforms, I was like, probably everyone else uses this same platform, which I'm sure many of you have the same bias. But after digging down within these numbers, I witnessed some results that have literally flipped my mind over. And as we go through this video, I will take you through number one, where exactly are we investing time? What trends have we noticed that you may need to pay attention to as well? And for those of you that stayed till the very end, I will literally get you to understand why even you too should choose these same platforms, especially if you're in the service-based business. So let's get started. So before we dive deeper, for those that don't know, we run a company called Tremby.com, which is an artificial intelligence that literally sells for you. It's used by businesses of all types, from insurance companies, construction companies, as long as you're looking for customers and you want a software which can automate the whole process. The software can work for you. Visit Tremby.com. But yes, whenever I'm explaining, this context is going to be around our kind of business, because we're a service-based business that literally sells software out to businesses. So for those that are in product-based businesses, this may not really appeal to you, but for those in the service-based space, this is what works best for you. So now, to better help you understand what the mathematics we used, I broke it down into these categories: the who we are looking for, the growth potential within that platform, meaning what is the likelihood of you scaling up extremely quickly, especially organically. Then what is the depth, meaning if you publish a video on that platform, how often, like how long are people watching that video, and is that value good enough that you could actually dedicate more time towards investing in that platform? Then the conversion simply means how much traffic have we been able to move from this social media platform onto our website, onto the sign-up forms, onto our newsletters. That's what we consider as conversion. And eventually the results, meaning how much money did we eventually make out of this. So as we go through this video, I'm just going to go platform per platform, breaking down number one, who we are targeting, number two, the growth potential, the depth, conversion, and the results. To get us started, we'll start with TikTok. Now, initially, I thought TikTok was this game changer, a revolution in the way we do business. And yes, at some point, it truly was. But at the end of the day, where my concern is I want to see what impact is TikTok pushing over in terms of business, in terms of website visits to my website. So after I started digging a bit deeper, the first question I asked myself is who? We target business owners and sales managers. Those are the only people that we sell to in most scenarios. Now, the first question we asked ourselves, are these business owners, is this the best platform that the business owners of mid-sized companies are spending time on? And to be honest, what I learned is, yes, they are business owners, but many of the business owners on these platforms tend to be small business owners. The medium-sized and the larger enterprise business owners are not as many. So when it came to who, it looked like TikTok thrived better on small business owners mostly. In terms of growth potential, TikTok actually, I think, is among the best performing platforms. It's one of the only platforms where you could even begin your social media account today and you'll have 1,000 people following you in a period of 1 month, 2 months, which is unlike any other platform. So in terms of growth potential, I would, on a scale of 1 to 5, I would still give TikTok a rating of about 5. When it comes to the whole, I would say for our business case as an enterprise service-based business, I would give it probably a 2 for the kind of person we are targeting. That's 2 out of 5. All right. Now, the third component, which is one of the most important metrics that has piqued my attention recently, it has become the depth of the content that how long are people consuming this content. Now, what I noticed is, unlike other platforms, the rate at which people on TikTok are consuming content was not really the best. I mean, our average video, regardless of the quality and how much we edited, how much more value we provided, the average person was watching anywhere between around 8 seconds and best case scenario for a video of 10 minutes, about 25 seconds. That means they don't really leave you a lot of room to deliver value. We are being forced into shaving, creating more short form videos. Yes, I understand that that's how the platform started at the beginning, but for you to deliver business related content and value to these business owners in a period of 20 seconds in most scenarios is extremely, and that's just an introduction. So we've tried to shorten the videos, but even when we do and improve the value, we still have not been able to get past those 25 seconds at the end of the day. It has been extremely taxing. Yes, in theory, it looks like it's a good thing because you will see the number of views being extremely high. But even if you get 5K, 10K views and people are watching you for 7 seconds, the value itself is not really there. That's why you'll notice that for the people that see me on the streets, especially those that are from TikTok, they'll be like, hey, I know you from TikTok. They don't really know what you do. They kind of just have seen you there. Whereas someone from any other channel, LinkedIn, will know, oh man, thank you, man. I got value. I watched that video. This was what it was about. So, like I said, the value that you deliver in such a short period of time is extremely hard to do. So based on the 1 to 5 rating, when it comes to depth, I would give TikTok about 1 out of the 5. All right. Then when it comes to conversion comes in 2 ways. Conversion may either come in terms of messages of that leads coming in, or in terms of the visit to the website. Now, for our case scenario, we quantify a visit to our websites and sign up more important than the messages at the end of the day. Someone that has taken that extra effort to go to your site, sign up, is a lot easier to turn into a customer than someone who has just viewed you on TikTok. And when it came to the messages, truth is the messages were extremely good. We keep getting about 60 to 70 messages a week, which is relatively okay. But for us, the more important metric is who has gone to the website, who has signed up from TikTok as a platform. And those people for us are much easier to turn into paying customers than someone who has just probably dropped your message. Now, for conversion, I would rate TikTok, give or take, because of the fact that they have messages, I would give them about a 2.5. Now, when it came to results, and for those that, just for clarity's sake, results for us are you have come from TikTok, you've gone to our website, you've signed up. So the entire journey across the board. Now, for TikTok, to be honest, the value that was coming out of TikTok outwards onto our newsletters everywhere is extremely small. TikTok accounted for about 5% of our entire business. It's the platform where we were spending the most time, the most effort. In fact, in theory, we had the biggest following, but regardless of how big the following was, the value that we were actually getting was literally 5% out of that platform. Now, initially, like I said, I was looking at the surface. I was just looking at followers, and because of the follower count was really huge, and I wasn't looking into these other things, we ended up just doubling down the efforts on TikTok, which even you, if that platform was only contributing to 5 to 10%, depending on the month, you would think twice about what's the challenge, what is the problem. And to top that all off, TikTok has done this thing recently. They launched ads in Africa, and the moment they launch adverts, they slash your reach. They make sure you're not reaching as many people as you are reaching. So even in comparison to the views that we had just last year, we are around half of the views. And I bet this pattern is only going to continue because they also want to make money out of their adverts. So those are the main pointers I noticed out of TikTok. So to sum it up, out of the 25 out of the 5 out in each category, TikTok would rate about 11.5 out of the entire 25 marks. Now let's get into the second channel. Now, platform number 2 was a bit of a surprise. It was LinkedIn. I really did not expect LinkedIn to provide any kind of sensible value. I would post there, yes, but not as seriously and as loyally as I was on other platforms. And after looking at the results, I was like, oh my God, what have I been missing all along? Should I be paying more attention to this platform? Now, to dive a bit deeper, of course, first question is who? I am interested in business owners that are looking to scale their sales. And LinkedIn is a B2B platform, meaning when it comes to business owners, I would give or take about, not 5, reason being some African business owners are not there, but many of the people I needed to find were on the platform, so I would give it about a 4. When it came to growth capabilities, LinkedIn came in as a bit of a shock. So you don't be thinking you're growing until you really sit down and notice, first wait, I have almost 5,000 followers. I know it's not a very big number, but I only started doing content about a year ago. So in comparison to even Instagram and some of my other social media platforms, it's actually way more. Yet the amount of work I have been doing there is extremely little. So it came in as a bit of a surprise. And I would rate that growth-wise, in terms of growth, especially because all the growth has come organically. I haven't run any ads at any point in time. I would still grant that at about 4. When it came to depth, I tried to just dig a bit deeper into, do we have watch time? Do we have anything of the sort? And I noticed their video analytics don't really have watch time statistics as yet. So what I decided to do, I benchmarked on things like comments, things like shares, and with each video I post, with each post that I put out there, I noticed there was a bit of engagement, there was a bit of traction, not as much as, and not as in depth, and simply because of the lack of analytics, I would kind of just give this about a 2. Like I said, the tools are not yet available for me to track the depth, and only until I get to the point where these tools are available is when I could maybe look critically and understand that based on this, there is actual value here. Now, when it came to conversion, this actually perturbed me a little bit. I noticed, yes, TikTok, you would get very many more people coming into your DM, very many more people coming, not on the website, but in the DMs. Let me break them to, there are 2 segments. Segment number 1 is in regards to the DMs. Segment number 2 is in regards to the visits to the website. When it came to the DMs, I would notice that I get fewer people coming via LinkedIn, but their conversion rate is much higher. As an example, you would get 60 people on TikTok, and of that 60, you probably get 5, 4 that give you money from the DMs directly. Whereas on LinkedIn, you would get 5 people, and of the 5 people, 3 give you money. So yes, it's fewer people, but much better quality. Now, to top all that off, when it came to website visits, among all the channels that we had, LinkedIn was still ranked number 2, regardless of how little the effort we were putting there. It was still attracting the second most traffic, only after platforms like YouTube. So which made me kind of reconsider that would it make a lot more sense to maybe double down on this. Keep in mind that most of the results that have come from here as LinkedIn have come in haphazardly. We're not paying attention, we're not posting regularly, we're just doing what, when it comes top of mind, that's when we post, that's when we publish. So I would rate the conversion capability at around 3 out of 5. And results-wise, simply because of how much traffic has been going to our website and the signups that have been coming, with minimal effort, I would still give about a rating of 4. Like I said, LinkedIn alone contributes about 20% of our traffic. Like people just keep clicking links, whatever I share there, whatever, people just drive and go to the website, and all this comes on its own. So, to be honest, this was one of the biggest surprises that came along. I was really not using the platform overall. I was just doing what I wanted. Whenever I feel like, I post. I probably have for some months where I do maybe 4 posts. But still, with that minimal effort, you still get enough traction coming and enough sign. And so, going into next year, this is going to be one of the platforms we really double down on. In terms of totals, this is 8, 10, 13, and 17. That is a 17 out of 25. So let's go to platform number 3. Platform number 3 is X, the former Twitter. Personally, I'm not a tweet. Sometimes whenever I go there, I find all this information being pushed that I don't relate to some of it. So I wasn't really posting there. I think I would post there 2-3 times a month. I was barely doing anything there until I actually started looking into the numbers, and my mind literally flipped over. Now, in regards to the who, Twitter itself has about 200-300 million people. The ones in the countries I'm targeting, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, are still relatively few, about 2-3 million per country. Now, for the business owners themselves, I would give it about 10 to 20% of business owners spending their time on this platform. So based on that, I would still give the who 2 for X's sake. In terms of growth capabilities, I think it's still very untapped for us. Twitter as a platform has actually resumed growing after being stagnant for a very long time. And because there is the sharing and testing on other platforms, I would also give this a growth capability of about 3. When it came to depth, like I said, I was barely posting there. And even with the few videos that we had posted, I noticed they don't also have the tools to track how long people are watching, how long people are engaging with your content. And simply on grounds of the lack of the tools to track that, I would still give this a depth of about 1. And for conversion capabilities, simply because we weren't posting there much, I wouldn't have anything to use to quantify with barely receive any messages of X. So I would still give this about a 1. Now, the only metric which perturbed me a little bit is, regardless of how little we were doing, personally, like I said, I post barely even 3 times on X an entire month. I went into the actual analytics of how many people were literally going into our website. And with 0 work being done, we were still getting about 10% of our traffic coming in. That means, had we actually doubled down on the time we were investing in posting more and investing in that, we would get a lot better results. Keep in mind that for the platform which we were spending the most time on, which is TikTok, we were getting 5% of our traffic. And this platform X, that you're barely doing anything, you're not running ads, you're barely posting, accounting for 10% of the traffic, was a bit of an indicator of, there might be something here. And it's something we're just going to test and improve the posting and grow a bit of the traction there first before we can come up with something more conclusive. But based on this, the result I would give that platform, simply because it's 10%, is about a 2. So the total that you get out of this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be about 9 out of the 25. So platform number 4 is Instagram. I would add Facebook here as well, simply because the two are owned by the same company and they kind of run the same way. Now, when it came to these, I was also not a very big fan of Instagram. You get on there and most of the time you scroll for a few minutes and check out a few stories. In fact, I spend more time on stories than any other channel when I get onto Instagram or Facebook as an application. So in terms of the who, truth is many businesses already have pages there, and the platforms have been around for a very long time. So I would say for the who, I would grant this at about a 3 because the people are genuinely there. Next thing is growth potential. Growth potential when it comes to posting, I would say dead. We publish videos, we publish reels, and we do stories. Of all the videos, after scrutinizing this extremely well, I noticed stories were actually the ones that were driving the most engagement. Now, simply because the stories are doing very well, I figured something else must be doing well. Now, we broke down our videos into 2. There are the longer form videos, which are more educative, a lot more content, then the shorter form videos. That's what we're posting within the reels. So after the stories, the second best performing component was these short videos. You have a small video with probably a tweet in the middle and a few words. Those are the ones that tended to do better for the platform. Once we posted those, I believe because of the infrequency, the lack of frequency of posting, I would also give its growth capability at about 3 because we really have not really explored it. Now, for the depth, I'm going to quantify it for you in 2 ways. Number one, how much are people watching this content? And those people, once they go to our website, how much time are they actually spending on that? And surprisingly, I would grant this platform as Instagram about a 3 as well. Reason being, people are actually watching. Once you publish the video and you look at the watch time itself, it was surprisingly there, especially for the shorter form videos and the stories. For the long form videos, not as much, but for these 2 categories, it was there. Now, to top that all off, when you notice that the people that were coming off Instagram to go to their website, they were also spending on average about 3 minutes on the site, which is a very good metric of success for us. So I would also give this a conversion stat of 3. Now, of all the platforms, to be honest, the one that surprised me the most was Instagram, because the amount of traffic we're getting from Instagram as a platform was almost way over and above these 3 combined. Meaning about 23% of our traffic was coming from Instagram, yet we have barely done anything. Just a few stories once in a while here and there. Now, based on this, I would still give this a 3. The total after this, the total would be about 15 out of 25. Keep in mind that this is exclusively based on our experience, and we are in the service-based space. So if you are product-based businesses, these metrics may vary a little bit. But let's go into platform number 5. Now let's get to platform number 5. Platform number 5 was my biggest surprise. YouTube has been a secondary platform to TikTok for a very long time. After going through some of the content and what the traffic was coming out, I was genuinely surprised. Of all the platforms, this is the one I'm most surprised by. In terms of the who, number one, they've been around for so long, meaning all business people are on the platforms. I would rate it similar to LinkedIn, give it about a 4. In terms of growth capability, we're still very small on the platform. I think we just crossed 1,000 followers on both our channels, so our growth capability is still extremely high. So I would grant this 4. The best metric of all of them was the depth. When it came to the depth, here people are watching us for a few seconds. Remember the 8 to 25 seconds? For this case, on this case, our average watch time for our normal long form videos, of all the videos we've published over the past 2 months, was about 4 minutes and 52 seconds, almost 5 minutes. That means that you publish a video, people are actually genuinely sitting down and consuming your content, listening to you. And someone who is listening to you, it ends up being a lot easier to sell to that person than anyone else. So based on that alone, I would give this a 5 score, because it was the most important metric for us. In terms of conversion, it was a bit unfortunate. They didn't have direct messages like the other platforms. So the only way we could quantify it is based on the people that had gone on our website. And because we also didn't have the ability to add links, we were not really capturing it. We only just started adding links in the comment section, links in the description itself, but only we don't have sufficient data to support how much conversion is coming from this. So based on that alone, I would give this a conversion score of 1. But when it came to the results, it was the second best performing because it attributed to about 19% of our traffic that came onto our website regardless. I don't know where people were finding the link. Remember, we've barely been adding links, but maybe they were clicking that link within our profile page. Depending on that, I would give this a score of about 3 as well. Now, to total this up, this is about 4, 8, add 5, that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that is 17 out of 25. Now, this is the score that we have been using to rate which platforms are working better for us. Now, of all of these, we decided to focus on where are we getting the most value from. And from this, we are going to double down on platform number 1 being YouTube, platform number 2 being LinkedIn, because they're the ones that are showing the largest impact. And platform number 3 is Instagram. Personally, I was previously biased because I was a very huge TikTok user, but sometimes you need to throw that bias away and say what is working for our case scenario. And the relevance of this video is just to show you that you need sometimes to dig a bit deeper, because what you think and what the reality is in terms of what is providing you value may totally differ. And based on this alone, I hope this video was valuable to you, and thank you for those that have stayed around till the very end. If you want to check out my other videos, I would recommend you check out this video on the 7 ways that you can get customers for your company. That's all from me, folks, today. Bye-bye for now.